Morning. Today I'm making a walnut slice to take in to where I volunteer. So 1 cup of flour, pinch of salt, or 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/4 cup of that's fine grind white sugar. You can also use powdered sugar, like icing sugar, and 1/2 cup of butter. So the butter, what you're going to do is mix it in until it becomes like small little tiny peas. So just either use your hands or a fork and do that until the butter's all mixed in. So now I've mixed the butter in using my hands. I find it hard to work with cold butter with a fork, so I just use my hands. You can do the same, but if you're going to share it with me, just make sure you wash your hands. I find that gross. I'm worried about other people's baking for that exact reason. But I've greased 8x8. Pour that in. Just spread it around. What you're doing is making a shortbread crust. Once it's all spread around, just use your hand, pat it down till it's nice and firm. Preheated 350 oven, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven, and it will be done when it's nicely browned around the edges, or lightly browned. So that's first step done. So while your crust is baking, you're going to make the topping. So I use the same bowl. I know those fancy cooks, they always have clean everything. But my stuff started off clean, nothing was touched, so I always use it. So an egg, a cup of brown sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And just going to mix that all up. It's a very easy recipe. I was at Costco yesterday and I got 1.36 kilos of walnuts for, I think they were on for $11. And because I do a lot of baking, walnuts are good for you, so I try to use a fair bit of walnuts. Plus I put them in my oatmeal. Yum! So that's mixed up. Now to that, 1.5 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and then the walnuts. Now, here's my walnuts, and I have this handy little chopper. God, I bought it years ago. All you do is put it down, press it, and it chops up to whatever size you want. So I want a cup of walnuts, and as you can see, I'm a pretty good guesser. That was about a cup that I chopped up. Even if it's a little tiny bit more, a little tiny bit less, I would just do it. I wouldn't worry about it. So now, walnuts, mix that up. So now here's your topping. It's going to go over the hot crust when that comes out of the oven. Spread it around, and then you're going to bake it again for 25 minutes. So that's the next And final step. So now here's the bottom. As you can see, it's lightly browned. Put the topping on it. I made chili this morning and guacamole. Talked with my grandson out in Halifax. Very productive morning. And just carefully spread it around. Like your pan is going to be hot, so you don't want to be grabbing it with your bare hand. But unlike me. So once you get that all spread around, back into the oven, like I said, 25 minutes. And then let it cool completely before you cut it. There we go. Back into the oven. Here's the finished walnut square. Delicious.